The first 6 months of 2024 have left your budget in shreds. Here's what to do.
January begins with high hopes and great expectations in terms of your monthly spending plan.
Yes, that's a budget.
But sometimes circumstances happen.
Like prices going up.
Even if the first half of the year hasn't gone particularly the way you would like it to go, there's still time to get the train back on the track.
And we know because we just had to do this last week. We're going to show you actual numbers from our budget and tell you what our plans are for rebalancing our budget mid-year. But if you don't know us, I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry.
This is Under the Median, where every week we talk about practical frugality.
You have to begin by knowing your numbers, so you have to track them. The best thing to do is to use a budget program in order to track all of your spending.
We have a budget spreadsheet that I created to track all of our monthly numbers. Now, if you like this spreadsheet, you can get a copy of it. In fact, all of our budget spreadsheets and forms are available in our Frugal Finance Planner. I'm going to make sure that there's a link to it, guys, in the description of this video. As we look at kind of a snapshot of what our budget looks like for the first 6 months. As you can see, all the numbers are there, but they're a little bit hard to determine where we overspend or even if we overspend. So that is why I created this second spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is what we use for our 6-month budget checkup.
And it shows plainly how much we had budgeted each month, how much we spent in 6 months, and what that amounts to each month. So you might ask, how does this work in real life? We're going to go over this for you.
As we mentioned, these are our actual numbers that we spent, but each item that I put on this sample spreadsheet for you is because it shows you a specific tactic or a tip that we want to share with you about how to rebalance your budget for the next 6 months. You'll notice that at the top of the spreadsheet, the first budget categories we have is water. We had $70 a month budgeted for water, and we came in just a smidge under $60. So why is this on the spreadsheet if we're doing okay in this budget category? If you look all the way over in the note-taking column, that column is super important to you. That allows you to write down anything that you happen to know about that budget category. And for us, we know that our water company has already told us that their rates are going to increase by about 40 to 42% before the end of 2025. That note is super important because it reminds us that we need to brainstorm together ways that we can reduce our usage of water.
Fortunately, this does give us some time for planning. And right now, we're completely on track with the way it's been, but it won't stay that way. So this gives us an idea of we need to look at water. We need to figure out what we can do. Can we conserve on water? Can we pull some money for some other categories in order to make the goal that's going to hit on January 2026?
The next budget category is something that we have heard from viewers over and over again that they are struggling with, and that is your monthly utility bill. For us, that's natural gas and electric combined. You can see that we budgeted $150 a month, but no, we are spending an average of $165 a month. We have decided probably to employ a little bit of a hybrid moment here where we may very well raise it just a little bit in the budget, but we are doing everything we can to use less energy and thus to lower our bill. We've been looking at different programs that we could join that we were unaware that we were even eligible to join. And we've also been consistently doing things that lower our energy bill, including, and this is a new one for us and it's working really, really well, keeping a daily energy diary where we make note of this is where we use the air fryer because our energy company gives us lots of information and we can see that spike right when that air fryer starts. But 3 or 4 days later, when it shows up on the utility company website, we don't remember that we used the air fryer at noon that day. We know we were cooking, but what we were using. And so a lot of that information we've been gathering and we've been implementing these strategies and we have been able to lower our energy bill. We're going to show you those strategies in an upcoming video in the next couple of weeks. So this is a great time for me to remind you, if you're not subscribed to Under the Median, go ahead, subscribe, and do us a favor when you're done subscribing. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for us. That helps us so that YouTube shows this video to even more people.
The next category, phone and internet. This is our service. This isn't our phone company with our cell phone specifically. This is the service that we get from our internet supplier. So we have budgeted each month $60 for that. That would actually be $360 in 6 months. But you'll notice that the figure says $370 is what we're actually spending. That's because our supplier has gone up in the month of June by $10. So now every month is going to be an additional $10 to that. So we'll have to make some adjustments there in order to cover the raise in cost.
Anytime you have a bill, which should remain consistent every single month, when you see a bump, even that $10 bump reminded me to look at my bill and say, why did that go up? Anytime you see something go up, you should go and investigate and figure out why does that exist. And for us, it was that bump is going to remain there permanently. It is a $10 raise in the amount that we are being charged for our service.
Auto gas is the next category. We've got $70 a month budgeted for that. We ended up spending $77.99. We're doing a lot of extra driving right now, taking Philip to work, and I'm teaching him how to drive. So he has to take a total of 50 hours of drive time with an adult in order to get a license. So we're taking him out in our Prius and having him drive that. So that's going to cost a little bit more. Philip does add some to the gas budget, but he does pay us for taking him back and forth to work. So that does help a little bit.
As we look at that gas budget, one of the things we had to ask ourselves is this something that is going to be permanent? And it's not, because eventually Phil will get his license, and then he will be continuing to pay for the amount of gas that he drives out of the car going back and forth to work. This next one is near and dear to my heart, and this is a category. This is an example of what you do when you go under your expected amount. We've been looking at amounts that are going above what we expected and what we budgeted, but this is one that we've done really, really well in. $160 a month, that is food from the grocery store. And you'll notice that we have spent substantially less than that. It's been just under $128 a month. The total amount we are spending on food is $207 a month, because figured into that is the $40 a month we set aside for our bulk food hauls. We do those twice a year. So we use a sinking fund to pay for them. That means in January, we already have $240 set aside. And when we go to the Amish store for our bulk food hauls, we then spend that amount of money down. If you're unfamiliar with sinking funds, we did a video on it and walk you step by step through how to set up a sinking fund and how to use it. I'm going to make sure, guys, that video, in case you're unfamiliar with it, that will be linked up above, and I'll also put it in the description of this video. So that $40 a month goes into food, and also $40 a month for our community-supported agriculture membership, which we pay all at once in December or early January. That means the total amount we're spending on food is $207 a month. Now, this was exciting for me because last year, Larry was so excited about this, I dropped our grocery bill to $200 a month. And he immediately in January said, can we not do that again? So I said, fine, I'll make it $240 a month and we'll see how we do. Guys, I am really pumped that the lessons that I learned in 2023, by dropping it to $200 a month, I'm continuing and carrying those lessons over to 2024, because essentially our grocery budget has not gone up that much. So I'm thinking that if I need to grab some money from an area of our budget that is lower than expected, and I need to move it to some of those areas where we know we're spending over the budgeted amount and we're not going to be able to compensate for that, you can move some money around in your budget and do that. So I may drop the grocery budget again to $200 a month.
The next category is cleaning supplies, and this would be anything that you don't eat. This would be shampoos, dishwashing liquid, laundry detergent, deodorants, anything like that we consider cleaning supplies and personal care. We have budgeted $25 a month. That would be $150 over 6 months, but we only spent $21.60 in 6 months, $21.60. That's less than what we were going to spend a month. So we've got some money in this category that we now can move to some of these other categories that we've been talking about that are over.
This is another great example. I told you whenever your allocated budget goes over, you need to look at it, but you also need to look at it when it goes under.
That's right.
And you'll notice that in that far column, I think I wrote the word anomaly. This is my what the heck is going on here moment. Even I looked at that when I typed it in, and I double checked like every entry in our budget. I was like, why did I only spend that? It was because I found some really amazing deals in 2023 and I stocked up.
Yeah, there you go.
That anomaly is my reminder to go back and check our pantry area where we have the non-food items and make sure that I have inventoried all of the soap, all of the toothpaste, all of the hair care products, all of the cleaning supplies. Make sure I know exactly what I have on hand, because you don't want to go out and buy stuff even if it's a great deal if you have enough on hand. But by the same token, if I'm getting a little low, I need to be aware of that as well. So the word anomaly, it's a great word, guys, and it will help you to remember. Go check and see what you have on hand and why this is happening.
It also means that for the year 2025, we cannot necessarily expect to only spend $3.60 a month on cleaning supplies if we have to stock up again, which we probably will. So we'll have to bring that budget. We'll have to take a look at it and see what we need to actually raise those prices up to for that year.
The next budget category we looked at was over-the-counter medication. We have $50 allotted per month, and we only spent $18.13 a month.
Yeah.
One of the things I need to look at is the fact that I kind of slip in to the over-the-counter medication category. I just slip in my essential oil purchases, because we use those throughout the winter time during cold and flu season. We often have an air purifier going. We have the essential oils going into the air. Even if you just want your living space to smell good, essential oils are wonderful. So I put that in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to inventory all of my essential oils and make sure that I know what I have on hand and I'm using what I have on hand before I buy any more essential oils.
Yeah. The next category we've noticed personally, this is a category that's really changed major recently, and that's our auto insurance.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at your auto insurance very carefully in the next few months, if it's coming up for you, you're going to see some increases, because this is a norm across the stage for all insurance companies. We had budgeted $150 a month, which is actually $1,800 a year. Now, the reason why we say this a year instead of 6 months is because we pay it a year at a time. So it's going to go up about 35%. And that's what we saw on our last bill, that it went up 35%. So we're going to have to really add a lot of money into this category. So we're looking at now $171.50 per month.
So our question for you is, have you seen similar rises in the rate of your car insurance? Here's the next one that we looked at. That was house insurance. And I told Larry, I said, goodness, if the car insurance went up that much, how much is the house insurance going to go up? Amazingly, our house insurance stayed the same for the next 12 months. But I have read numerous reports. I've looked at a lot of YouTube videos recently and have heard consistently from a number of people that the rates for homeowners insurance are expected to rise 35%, just exactly the same rate that our auto insurance did. So I put a note, you'll notice all the way over to the right-hand side. That is where, like, guys, if you take away anything from this video and from this form, that note-taking section, that is huge for you. That's where you can download all your thoughts on these areas and figure out how you're going to deal with prices that are already rising or ones that you know are going to rise in the future. And this is one of those examples. We fully anticipate in 12 months from now, when we pay our homeowners policy again, it's going to go up.
Don't forget, you can get our budget spreadsheets from Hope's Frugal Finance Planner, and we'll leave a link in the description of the video for that.
Now, if you are all in when it comes to planning your budget and figuring out how you're going to allocate your money every month, one of the most important things we can teach you is not just how to budget on paper. It doesn't do you much good if you are not setting realistic financial goals. They go hand in hand like a glove meeting another glove, guys.
Yes, they do.
Realistic financial goals that you know you're going to be able to meet. We did a tutorial on it. It's right over there.